Ghana Cocobod on Friday, 16th March 2007, signed a landmark deal for a $150 million term credit facility with the Royal Bank of Scotland.
The facility, which has a one-year moratorium, is repayable in 3 years. The loan, which is the first of its kind to be secured by a Ghanaian corporate organization from the international financial market, is widely seen as a demonstration of the growing confidence in the nation's economy. Cocobod will use its loan to develop and improve infrastructure in the cocoa industry with the aim of increasing cocoa production in Ghana.
The event started with the signing of the loan agreement. Mr. Isaac Osei, Chief Executive Officer Ghana Cocobod, and Mr. Dramani Igala, Chief Executive Officer Cocoa Marketing Company Ghana Limited, signed on behalf of Ghana Cocobod. Signing for Royal Bank of Scotland was Mr. Tom Hardy, Head of Project Financing for Africa and the Middle East. Also present was Mr. Joe Mensah, Managing Director, Ghana International Bank, the lead arrangers for the loan facility.
Present at the signing ceremony were His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor, the President of the Republic of Ghana, senior members of the Government of Ghana including Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Ghana's Foreign Minister, Ghana's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, His Excellency Anan Achin Keito. Also present were senior managers including Mr. William Mensah, Deputy Chief Executive, Finance and Administration of Ghana Cocobod, and Mr. Edem Amegashi, Manager Ghana Cocoa Marketing Company UK Limited.
After the successful signing ceremony, Mr. Isaac Osei was invited to give a short speech.
We have today gathered to append our signatures to a landmark agreement which will ensure that Ghana Cocobod is able to access a minimum of $150 million to finance its medium-term investment plan. May I preface my comments by congratulating you, Mr. President, on what has without doubt been a very successful state visit to the United Kingdom. An invitation by Her Majesty the Queen is extended to only 2 heads of state in any given year. And this is evidence not only of your stature in African and world politics and world affairs, but also of the esteem in which you are held by Her Majesty and the people of the United Kingdom. I think this is due recognition also for our country Ghana in this Jubilee year. Mr. President, your demeanor, simple good manners, and the grace with which you have conducted yourself on this visit, and indeed throughout your presidency, have not only restored dignity to the highest office of our country, but have made every decent Ghanaian living anywhere on this planet justifiably proud. While wishing you God's blessings, for the remainder of your tenure as president and personal good health way into the unknown future, I wish to state without equivocation that your performance and good governance as Ghana's leader has assured the Ghanaian corporate sector of a stable political and economic environment within which commercial and industrial operators can make and implement investment plans with some measure of certainty as to the results. Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, over the last 3 cocoa seasons, Ghana has recorded the best 3 years of production ever since commercial production of cocoa was introduced in 1879. But it did not happen by accident. It was the result of the implementation of your government's policy to mitigate some of the risks associated with the cultivation of cocoa. Government supported Cocobod in its implementation of the Cocoa Diseases and Pest Control Program and the payment of remunerative producer prices to Ghanaian cocoa farmers. Today, Ghana Cocobod cannot sit on the achievements of the past 3 seasons and, as it were, put our industry on autopilot. Ghana is 50 and Cocobod will be 60 this year. So as we look to the next 50 or 60 years, we have to make those interventions today which will positively impact on our cocoa industry and substantially improve the livelihoods of our hard-working cocoa farmers. We will therefore apply the proceeds of this facility to first, to improve agronomic practices at farm level, and apply through extension support our high-tech program. This is to enhance productivity, improve farmers' incomes, and generally upscale production so that we can have enough not just for exports but also for our increasing processing sector within our economy. Secondly, we will invest in quality assurance to maintain Ghana's position as the foremost supplier of top quality cocoa beans and maintain and enhance the premium which we enjoy on international markets. The modernization of quality control laboratories belonging to Cocobod and the development of a domestic capacity to test for chemical residues will make Ghana the first producing country to routinely issue certificates of analysis for its shipments. Thirdly, logistics constitute an important aspect of any export business. Cocobod will continue to work with the private sector in the domestic value chain and will build at Sekedi Takrati starting this year, a 100,000 ton capacity warehouse and a cargo village. So that is why Ghana Cocobod has come to the financial markets of the City of London, a city which arguably has no peer as the leading financial center of the world, to do this 150 million term deal. Mr. Chairman, Ghana Cocobod is well known for its annual soft commodity deal, which has been successfully syndicated over the past 13 years. With the present crop year, we borrowed $810 million US. Today, for the first time, we are doing a term facility, a 3-year facility, a deal with a 1-year moratorium with interest payments spread over the ensuing 2 years. May I take this opportunity to appreciate the roles played by our mandated lead arrangers, Royal Bank of Scotland, and our own Ghana International Bank. Julian and his team at RBS have shown commitment and professionalism in ensuring that we have reached signature. Jones and his team at GIB also deserve honorable mention as our other main partner in this deal. Ghana Cocobod is thankful. We are also thankful to Denton, our lawyers, with Ms. Boache, who works for them also, a Ghanaian. I believe that we will be looking forward to drawing down this facility pretty quickly, and certainly within 45 days of signing. I hope that this seminal agreement should also signal an opportunity to other well-placed Ghanaian corporates, both private and public, to seek investment funds in the international marketplace. Over the last 10 days, we have, at our instance and under the aegis of the Royal Bank, discussed this deal with carefully selected club of international bankers, including one German bank, a Japanese bank, and a French bank. And we are happy that we have come to signature today. Finally, Your Excellency, Mr. President, I think the time has come for us to consider, perhaps sooner than later, issuing a Ghana cocoa bond, proceeds of which Ghana can use for development purposes. It is our belief that working together with our international bankers and given Cocobod's exemplary track record, we can make this an investment grade bond to further propel our country's development into that of a middle income country. Once again, I want to thank our bankers, Royal Bank of Scotland and the Ghana International Bank, for the confidence reposed in Ghana Cocobod, and to thank you, Mr. President, for gracing this ceremony with your august presence. Thank you.
Mr. Joe Mensah, Managing Director, Ghana International Bank, also had this to say.
To begin with, we in Ghana International Bank are indeed delighted to have played a major role jointly with our partners, the Royal Bank of Scotland, in arranging this debut medium-term facility for a number of reasons. Firstly, even though Ghana Cocobod has been coming to the market for over 13 years for the annual financing facility, this is the first time ever that it has tapped the international capital market for a term facility. And we are delighted to be part of this. Secondly, we hope on the back of this facility to be jointly mandated to arrange a longer tenured bond issue that will herald the entrance of Ghana into the capital markets, as alluded to by the Chief Executive. And thirdly, we believe that our cooperation on this facility with the Royal Bank of Scotland rightly vindicates the vision of the founding fathers of the bank when they thought it wise to open a bank in the city in 1959. And this truly justifies the raison d'etre of the bank as the gateway for Ghana and indeed Africa to access the international financial markets. Fourthly, Ghana International Bank has come of age, and we have now positioned ourselves as a Pan-African bank doing business not only in Ghana but other parts of the continent, especially in the ECOWAS sub-region. And finally, we are delighted that on his first ever state visit to the city, His Excellency has witnessed the bank where he started his working career, come of age, and become a bank of consequence on the international banking circuit, just as Ghana, under his able leadership, has come of age and is playing a pivotal role in moving Africa forward. We thank you, Your Excellency, for gracing this occasion and wish to assure you that your bank has come of age just as the country has come of age. Thank you.
His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor, the special guest for the event, in his speech expressed his support for the Ghana cocoa industry.
I felt I had to come to this morning's function because the subject matter is financing Cocobod. Anybody with any knowledge at all, however little, of Ghana would readily attest to the crucial importance of cocoa to Ghana. It's been the lifeblood of our country from before independence. Even the colonial government, which was the British government, depended on cocoa a lot to run the affairs of the colony. It was revenues accruing from cocoa that the then government, before independence, used to build schools, the first university, roads, and all the other social services the colony needed. Then our country was called the Gold Coast, but it wasn't so much the gold as cocoa the government depended on to develop the country. Of course, since independence, cocoa has become even more important. And if this is how important the crop is, then any president who is truly responsible and committed to the welfare of the country should consider its top priority to leave everything else and come to a function like this. So this is why I accepted to come. But truly, Ghana has come of age in many ways. For the first time in economic history, we as a nation are accessing the bond market generally. It's not just cocoa. And Ghana is being courted by all the big banks around the globe, including, of course, the Royal Bank of Scotland. you wouldn't mind my mentioning some of your competitors. We have Citibank, UBS, Barclays, Standard. Everybody is courting to help usher Ghana into the bond markets generally. And this is what it is. I'm not surprised, therefore, that Cocobod should be showing the way by coming to you to arrange this medium-term line. And I was a bit taken aback, though, that the chief executive of Cocobod should stand here on the premises of RBS to propose on his vision that perhaps we should be using cocoa to enter the bond market. But I thought such an important step, such an attractive vision should have been given to me. behind the scenes. But, well, so this is what it is. But truly, so many Ghanaians depend on cocoa for a livelihood. I'm not exaggerating if I would say near 50% of our entire population depends on cocoa in one way or the other for livelihood. And the society as a whole, as I've recounted, has depended on this crop from before independence. And so today's step is very important. We haven't been, commercial enough with cocoa. It's been more like hand to mouth. Every year, Cocobod would come meet a syndicate in London or elsewhere for them to give what I would describe as a current account credit to it to buy cocoa for the year, and immediately after purchases, the money would be retired. It's time for us to be more business-like. Take a termed loan so that we become even more efficient in the handling and management of cocoa. And this is what is happening today. And this is why it is very important that I should be here to give the procedure, the imprimatur of the government of Ghana. I've come, not that Cocobod needs any guarantee, but this one, my presence here, should send the message around that we are giving a super sovereign guarantee to the procedures. I should also use the occasion to assure our trading partners now, financiers, of two major developments which government and Cocobod are working on to let the world know that Ghana is tops in terms of quality cocoa and in terms of efficient economic management of the sector. The first of these steps is that we happen to be living in times where everybody is conscious of pollution and dilution of quality and standards. We've had reports of chemical additives that debase quality. And so, as we heard from the chief executive of Cocobod, our laboratories are ensuring that even with the pesticides and fertilizers we use, our produce will not be contaminated at all. I'm not saying we are going to produce only organic crop, but necessarily where we have to apply any chemical, we ensure that the chemical does not affect the quality or the standard that would make people concerned about purity of crop to be disturbed. That is being done. And I'm happy the Cocobod chief executive alluded to this. We want to maintain quality, the premium that we enjoy over all other competitors in the world. We will retain that. The second one is about child labor. Ghana hasn't used child labor, I think I should say in inverted commas, on our farms ever. We have been producing cocoa as a cultural thing. Anybody, again, with knowledge of our country, when they come, they'll see that the crop is tended by families, and everybody is happy during the season, especially when it's harvest, to go, whether it's parent or child, or we go there, because it's our livelihood, and it's the culture of our system. If you are a stranger and you come first time, you see, say, a child about 8 running around the farm, you might think that child is being exploited. It's far from the truth. If you would care to find out, such a youngster would be part of the family as a whole. The father, mother, siblings, everybody would be going to help process this golden crop, because we believe this is the culture the child should go into. It's not child labor in the wrong sense, where, say, the farm owner goes to hire a child to exploit to his benefits. No. Unfortunately for Ghana now, even with this culture, things are changing, because it's government's policy that from this time on, all children from age 4 to age 15 will remain in educational institutions. We've launched an educational policy which is titled Free and Compulsory Universal Basic Education, which enjoins all families to keep their children from age 4 to age 15 in educational institutions at the expense of the state. So we are not allowing any chance for anybody, say, below the age of 16 to be out on basis of poverty or neglect or so, to be exploited commercially, economically by farm owners. And on these two bases, I want to say Ghana will continue to produce quality cocoa, premium cocoa, on the soundest of economic and commercial principles. And with this assurance, all our partners, whether financial or manufacturing or whatever, should feel assured that when they buy Ghana cocoa or they help to trade Ghana cocoa, they will be doing something that would be in line with good business practices and at the same time in keeping with their consciences. And I believe with this said, I wasn't given one of the glasses I've seen around of champagne. Otherwise, I would have called on all of us to stand up so we drink to the success of this deal that has been struck today in the presence of the President of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you. God bless us all.
After His Excellency's speech, Mr. Johnny Cameron, in his closing speech, thanked all parties involved for making the ceremony a success. He went further to present gifts to His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor, His Excellency Anan Achin Keito, and Mr. Isaac Osei.
In particular, I'd like to say that how pleased and how proud we are to be part of the state visit of the President of Ghana. Although I understand it formally ended last night, we would like to unofficially extend it so we can bask in the unofficial honour of being part of the state visit, which I understand has gone extremely well. It obviously is a significant occasion. It's a milestone facility, and the President made it very clear just how important cocoa is to the economy of Ghana. The President also mentioned one or two other banks, which I can't resist responding to, some of which I had heard of, others less well known. And what I thought I would say is that in the same way as the Chief Executive of the Cocobod mentioned something publicly that perhaps was better mentioned privately, I do hope we will have you back, President, to celebrate the first bond issue on the back of cocoa organised by the Royal Bank of Scotland. It is, of course, a very significant year for Ghana, the Golden Jubilee of independence, and it's also a mark of the economic stability that is now in place in Ghana. The state visit is a celebration not just of the 50 years, it is a celebration of the success of the last few years. And we are, as a bank, delighted to be a very small partner in that success, and a very small partner, but I hope an important partner, of the Cocobod. Obviously, we're particularly pleased to hear you and the Chief Executive talk about the quality of cocoa. We do think that is extremely important, that it retains that premium brand, and that we hope that the money we're raising here will allow further investment and will be used for further investment both in the quality and, of course, in the increased efficiency and increased production over the next few years. I understand you're looking to increase production by as much as 30% over that period, and that makes this loan particularly important. You've now raised over $5.5 billion in loans, I understand, secured against the cocoa crops. That's a very large sum of money by anybody's standards, and again is another sign of the recognition of the financial markets of the stability and the success of what is going on in Ghana at the moment, and in particular of the Ghana Cocobod. We, as I say, are very proud to have arranged 3 of the last 4 transactions, been a book runner now on over $2 million, and of course we're particularly pleased to do this, the first term loan. I'd like to say, while you're still here, Mr. President, how pleased we were to work with our colleagues in the financial markets, obviously Ghana International, with the off-takers, EDNF Man and Amajaro, who are here today, I think, with Denton's, and with the other people who helped make this transaction possible. We found it a very smooth transaction, and I think everybody worked very well together to bring it to a successful conclusion. I'd like to conclude, I think, by particularly thanking Mr. Osei and the Ghana Cocobod for selecting us, for making it very easy to work with you and to bring this to a conclusion. To congratulate you on your 60th anniversary, as you pointed out, you're now 60, and congratulate you on your performance. We're delighted to have been asked to be responsible for this transaction, and we look forward very much to working with you in the future. What I had to say, as I say, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Mr. President.
Right, well, in that case, thank you very much indeed.
After the event, we spoke to some of the managers from Ghana Cocobod for their comments on the day's proceedings.
Yeah, first of all, it's a landmark because this is the first time Ghana Cocobod is accessing the international financial markets for a term facility. This is a 3-year deal, 1-year moratorium and repayments over the ensuing 2 years. The facility is going to be invested in 3 key areas. One is in productivity increases. So we're going to use part of this money to improve agronomic practices in Ghana, also to invest in high-tech, the application of specialized fertilizers, whilst at the same time ensuring that the cocoa diseases and pest control program remains on course. So all these factors should lead to an enhancement in total production throughout the country, and then more money for our farmers. That's number one. Number two is in quality assurance. Ghana's beans throughout the world, have attracted a premium on the international commodity markets, and we have to assure that the quality of our cocoa remains the same. There's also a market-related concern these days that is on the question of minimum residue limits for pesticides, and we want to develop a domestic capacity to be able to test for these pesticides and become the first country to issue certificates of analysis for every shipment that we make. Thirdly, we are thinking about investment in logistics, especially the building of a 100,000 ton capacity warehouse at Takoradi, because the Western region, of course, caters for 60% of our total output.
I know you've got a 50,000 ton warehouse open in Tema. What's going to happen is it's going to add to the...
Yes, it is going to add. After all, if you are increasing production, you also have to improve the institutional framework within which you work. And we think logistics is key. And that is why we are building the warehouse at Takoradi.
For the sake of the viewer, I know we signed a trade finance facility in Paris last year, and we've just seen another term agreement being signed. What's the difference?
The difference is that with a trade facility, it's meant for the purchase of beans, and then once we sold the beans, we pay. With respect to the term facility, this is a 3-year deal, okay? And once we do this 3-year deal, we will be able to put this money not into trade, but into investment, in the 3 key areas that I've already mentioned.
What's the interest rate?
The interest rates, I'm saying that for a term facility, we could not have done better, especially since this was our first time. It's a few basis points above LIBOR, as it should be.
I also noticed that you haven't included processing in part of your plans.
Well, government has been promoting the idea of enhancing the private sector. We will support any private sector entity who wants to invest in processing. Already by the end of next year, we will be having a processing capacity of about 280,000 tons in Ghana. So yes, we are supporting our processors, but we are not, it is not our core business to be engaged directly in processing. That is for the private sector. You may be interested.
What structures have you put in place to ensure that this money goes into the areas where it's supposed to be invested?
Yeah, in fact, a bit of the agreement, the CPs request us to provide structure or how the facility is going to be used. That is available. Apart from that, we are opening an account with GIB, our bankers, draw the money, separate it from all our other accounts, and as we use it, we will also pass it through our books, and that will indicate how we are accounting for the books. It's strictly for capital expenditure. Yes.
Now, I also know that in last year you did sign a trade finance agreement. How has that finance agreement gone so far in terms of drawing down the money and also paying back?
Yeah, we've drawn the money. Yeah. Yes, we've drawn. We have started repaying. In fact, we did the first repayment in February. The second one by 31st of March, and we are going to do that. It's been very smooth.
So we're on target.
Problems. Our target.
We're on target in terms of...
We're on target, yes. And next year we intend to go for 780 million. And we have invited the banks to submit quotations. And we hope that by the 26th of April, we will assess and know which bank won.
The concerns of the people of Ghana is the legal framework that will protect the interests of the Ghanaian and the Ghanaian farmer. What sort of structures have you put in place? I know you're an experienced person in the field.
Well, whatever we're doing here, it will inure to the profit of the Ghanaian farmer, because whatever we get, we give to the farmer first before Cocobod, the government and what have you. So the farmers' interests are well protected by this. And if you heard what the chief executive said, it is the money that we're going to get is to the quality of the product. That is a farmer's product. So we're going to get quality assurance. And then when we get quality assurance, we're going to get a better price. And once we get a better price, the farmer will benefit.
Well, as a marketing man, we can see a strategic window opening up for prices for Ghana cocoa. The demand line is clear, and we think that this is the time to look at other alternative financing structures to develop our internal capacity to plug in and then take advantage of the new market coming up for Ghana cocoa. And I'm very happy we are doing that. We've shown an example of what a public sector can do using a model of a private sector to go into financial markets, and we've done that successfully. And we'll continue to do that and hope that the private sector and also some public sector in Ghana will follow suit. That's all there is to it.
Now, I know you're also going down to Ghana in April to organize a special seminar on quality. Can you give us a bit of information about that?
Well, yes. These days products sells by specific branding, and we think that quality has been our major brand for Ghana cocoa. And in order to reaffirm it, you have to do things such as seminars with those who are involved, the industry main players, with your own people, to show everybody that your quality, your understanding of quality is on the same pedestal as that of the highest requirement of the industry. And we think that is what our seminar in April aims to achieve, and we are doing everything possible to make it a great success like the event in the UK.
Who are you working in conjunction with?
Well, we are doing that in conjunction with the FCC and the big players in the industry with Quality Control of Ghana, who are our main quality superintendents in the country. And we know, we are very, very convinced that the signal that conference will send to the market is going to have a huge impact on our premiums, for sure.